Mansfield today on a Tuesday, and that means it's time for us to welcome once again Advocate Lance Brogden into the Mansfield Today studio. Advocate, nice to have you with us, sir.
Jeremy, always good to be here.
Oh.
Thank you so much.
Now, we've got a whole load of questions that have been coming in. You know, what's actually happened, Lance, is that you get certain people who watch certain shows. There are quite a few people who, based on the questions we get in, who watch across the entire spectrum.
Sure. But
there are certain people who watch specific shows, and you can pick it up by the questions that come in from them. One of your big fans is Ian Snowball from Morningside. Snowy. Yes. And you see, this is what I love about doing questions on this legal show, is because some of them, I think you oaks are trying to pull the piss out of us sometimes. Because, okay, Snowy. Listen carefully to this. Advocaat, my advocaat. If a condom bursts or tears while I'm using it, can I sue the manufacturer? It's a very deep
no. Snowy, that's a very deep question from Snowy. or in his case, maybe
not that deep.
Okay.
Yeah. but it does lead to a question there.
Yeah.
If something like that happened, could you sue the manufacturer?
Okay, bottom line is no, Jim, you can't. But it's a very good question, because there have been numerous cases of people falling pregnant and then wanting to, take it further. The bottom line is this, and in many cases where nobody knows the exact reason why it malfunctioned. And all these medical products go through a lot of testing. So it's not a case of, oh, well, I got a bad batch. They are very well tested. Something else, if you look carefully on the box or the container of the contraceptive, it'll tell you things like, this will not protect you against HIV. This is not a guarantee to protect you against pregnancy, etc. So the answer is no. But Snowy, anyway, with your back problems at the moment, you shouldn't be getting involved in that whatsoever, my boy.
Abdul here from Fordsburg, wanting to know, and this is a very interesting one, what would happen if, without you even knowing it, you hire an illegal foreign worker in South Africa?
Wow.
Because, there are so many illegal documents going around. As a layman, how do you know if that's legal or not? You know what I mean? And what happens if you hire somebody and you think and you look through the documentation and it looks all good and well that they are South African, and suddenly you find out that they are an illegal worker in this country?
Jim, this is a very big problem here, and in many parts of the world. So there are probably three cases that will make it very clear that you may not employ a person. One, if they are an illegal person here. If they're not allowed to be here, logically you can't employ them. Secondly, if they are here legally, but there are certain reasons you can't. They could be under a flight risk regulation, you can't employ them either. And then thirdly, and this is the interesting one, is if they are here and they have a work permit, the person may be employed by you, but only for that purpose. You understand? You've got to be very clear. So, Jeremy, your comment was very valid early on. One, you as the employer are expected to do due diligence and check out this person, their credentials, etc., as far as humanly possible. But here is the trick with this thing. Don't then use this as an excuse if you don't get on with the employee anymore and you want to get rid of that person. Then the fact that you illegally employed somebody does not necessarily mean that the employment contract is void. It might be void, but it's not void in essence. Very important point. Don't drop that one. So guys, check out the people you're working with for both of your advantage.
Okay, thank you. Rihanna Skippers from the Vaal. Do I have any rights over the behavior of my employee outside of work hours?
If this is our Rihanna, who is Bunny Skippers' boss, good luck on any rights you think you got over that boy, Jim.
That's also true, yeah. Especially outside work hours. Yesterday.
But Rihanna, no, this is a big question, because what's happened historically, there was a different approach to employees during employee time and outside time. There was differentiation. They were seen as two different roles. But I think with the role of social media, etc., it's become far more sensitive. So the question is this: does that behavior, in essence, this is the litmus test, affect the employer-employee relationship, or the employee relationship with a company, or the employee with other employees? And there are one or two examples I'm quickly just to share with you. The one is on the social media, a certain person, these are court cases, these are real. He said that his employer's clients are spastics and junkies. Okay, extremely stupid guy. First thing, that's just unacceptable. But the guy who did this, and he was taken to task by the company heavily, they found that, hang on a second, there were extenuating circumstances, including he knew all the clients, he'd been around a long time. So that was looked at by the court. And that terminology is an unacceptable thing, but somehow slipped through. Second one, an air hostess on international travel, you have to spend a day or sometimes two staying over, was purchasing some narcotics. And the question was there, wow, you're outside of your work hours, can I be disciplined by my employer? In this case, yes, because the fact that they were in another continent somewhere else was still within the work program, and that person was taken to task. And a third one, after a very big Christmas party, which sadly we weren't invited to, Jeremy.
Wonder why?
Because it wasn't big enough for us. But a certain lady got involved in a nefarious, or let's put it this way, in a lewd sexual activity in the evening, and she was taken to task, and successfully, because when the investigation was done, she wasn't transparent and honest. What she did was not, so the employer-employee relationship was broken there and then. So they looked at it in individual cases and how's the relationship affected.
Okay, dogs. You see, there's another one of these questions which you're not quite sure if they're being real or not, but that's fine. We take
Go for it. Let's hear.
How can I have my wife put in an institution? I think she's nuts.
Wow.
Now this from somebody who calls themselves a knater van Skalkwyk in Springs.
Knater, baie dankie vir die vraag. Ek is uiters trots op jou. Of nie. Right. So, but this is a big thing, and you know, one day we want to do a show with Vicky Skitter on this, Jim, because people misunderstand mental illness. It is something very serious. I'm not only talking about PTSD, which many of people of our era go through, and trauma and psychosis. It is serious and it needs to be attended to. So there are two parts to it. One, if I, as an adult, 18 and above, feel that I do need help, I should urgently go through the process and apply and go for some observation and get it checked out. It's not a crime. It's not something that should be laughed at. It is very, very serious. And there's a certain process you follow there. You go see your doctor, you get a letter of reference, etc. And you go to an institution and you book yourself in for a while. If you feel you can't, it's got to be a relative, spouse, next of kin, life partner who helps you with that. The question here, and to take something serious out of this question from Knater, sorry, sometimes not that easy. But something serious is, what if somebody does not want to go? We're in a work environment. Jeremy feels I'm losing the plot. And there are certain things that are there that stand out, and you can go check on the internet. You don't have to go see your doctor. Certain things like feel you're being hunted down, shortness of breath all the time, nervousness. There are a whole lot of things. How does that person get me to go and get the help that I do need? And I do need it then. Well, there's a procedure. It's difficult. It involves a court procedure, but sometimes well worth it. I'm not going to go through the detail now. I think we'll do that one with Vicky sometime. I think this question is too big to forget. Okay. Mental health is a massive problem, and we'll bring Keita and the guys in as well on those institutions, addictions and so on. As we need to be more grown up and mature about this. But there are procedures to look after it. So, Knater, thanks for the question.
Yeah, thank you. Running out of time. What's the funniest name of a law firm you've ever come across?
There's a Japanese firm that opened offices in Seattle. They call themselves Sosumi.
Sosumi. So swimming. There was one in America. I don't know if this is true or not, but there was one allegedly in America called Dewey, D-W-E-W-E-Y, Cheatham, C-H-E-T-H-A-M,
Dewey Cheatham.
and Howe, H-O-W-E.
Dewey Cheatham and Howe. There was a very famous Welsh law firm.
Yes.
Jones, Williams, Davies, and Jones. But quick question for you.
Yes.
One, and this is now a serious question, and
Yeah.
if you're not ready for it, we'll carry it over. You as a layman, Jem, what gives you either confidence to work with a certain lawyer when a legal matter arises, whether it be in our businesses, whether it be in our personal lives? For you, and I mean, I think everybody will have a different answer, but and why I'm asking this question is you should all ask yourself that. So if you are an issue and you want to make use of a legal mind, of a legal practitioner, you must decide what will give you the comfort. So, Jem, in your case, if you thought about it, is there anything that you have in mind?
Yeah, I would probably, because I know a few people in your profession, I would probably go to them and say, look, this is the problem. Who would you recommend as the best lawyer to handle this type
This
of
particular
problem?
issue, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's I think that's good advice. You know, because we are close friends and it doesn't mean I'm the right guy to handle this particular matter of Jeremy's. So that's one bit of good advice. Yeah. Thanks, Jim. But think about it, guys. It's important. You need to have a relationship with that person that works for you.
Oh, I don't want a bloody relationship with you.
That's why I said you're not going to use me.
Thank you guys for your questions. Keep them rolling in and we'll catch you next time around. Until then, bye-bye.
Thank you very much.